my loves, welcome back to my channel. And today the topic of mental health was just kind of impressing upon my spirit, so I said I want to talk about this. I don't know, I was just the question really came, what is mental health? What is mental health? I mean, when you think about that, most people will say, oh, it's when the mind is this. They'll have a lot of different explanations on mental health in connection with the mind and everything in between that. And so, I don't know, I just wanted to expound on that. I just had something coming up that I thought I would want to share. I was on my way out, really. This is an unplanned video, and I said, no, let's talk about it. Let's talk about mental health. Most people would agree that it is just as important, if not more important, than what we call just health in general, when it comes to the body. So let's just jump right into it. I think the biggest question I have, I'm getting to the point where I want to question everything, because sometimes we assume, well, I have, just the conditioning that we get that, the answers have already been thought out. So we're taught in school what mental health is, and they talk about the mind. But when you think about that experientially, what actually is the mind? I mean, is it something you can bring out? Where does it come from? Of course, most people will say, well, your brain, of course. Of course it comes from your brain. Okay. When they go find the mind, nobody has ever been able to really find the mind. We just know that we have these signals of thoughts that, that arises. And if you look at the nature of the mind, these thoughts are random. I mean, really, do everybody believe their thoughts? I guess most people who believe all of their thoughts, we will consider them as insane. Let's just be real about it, because the thoughts can be everywhere. I mean, things you don't even want to think about pops up, You just say, just random concepts that come into play, and no, we're not going to grasp everyone. We pick and choose. Generally, most people pick and choose what thoughts they will agree with and what thoughts they weren't, or they'll categorize them. These are good, these are bad, these are and some people they strategize with this, thinking, they were like, well, whatever comes up, they'll just kind of, make strategies in accordance to the thoughts that they have running around their, just running, I'll say, because really we say thoughts are in the head. Is it really in the head? Do we know where the thoughts come from? I mean, if you ever experienced it, if you ever sit down and just start thinking, it really comes in your innermost being. But where is that? We say here, but is it really there? And so that's what I kind of wanted just to expound on. I mean, what is the mind? I mean, is that something we can always count on? I mean, is it essential to our being? Is the mind essential to our being? And then how do we help ourselves when there becomes a moment in time where we feel like we have gotten out of control, where the mind is concerned, that we have listened too much of, whether it's negativity or, usually it is. We consider the things that we don't like from the mind as negative, that causes us suffering. The things really It's not actually what the mind is saying. More so is, what are we believing in response to what we're hearing? And how do we stop really believing those things? I mean, everything I think has you can look at it and has a nature of how it reacts or responds, or how it's mechanically set up. Like a clock, we know it's going to tick, it's going to go in a circle. Have you ever looked into your own mind or your own heart or your own self to see how you kind of function? How what kind of thoughts basically are you thinking, and which one do you choose to believe in? Are most of your thoughts negative, or is there a mix? And I can tell you that no one's different. We're all the same. We are all the same. It just depends on your belief in how you manage what we call apparent mental health. Because I don't know what that is really. Because when you look at the mind, and like I said, you look at the thoughts, you can never hold on to one thought forever. They're always changing. So anything that comes and goes, I can't take seriously. I can't take seriously thoughts that come and go. And like we all have experience. In my experience, they're always changing. They're always changing. And the message, sometimes the message is just nothingness. It's just great. It's just something like bluebird. And there may not even be a bluebird anywhere in sight, but those are what's going through this messaging system we call the mind. And so, no, I'm not going to take that seriously. Bluebird, I'm not going to put attention there. So belief goes hand in hand when it comes to the attention. Attention really is what we are going to spend our attention on. We're going to spend our attention on something that is not changing. That is changing, that's constantly sporadic, constantly making things up, constantly judging, constantly, there's some positive things too. Let's throw that in there. That's giving positive message. Sometimes you feel, good things for that, but how much attention are we going to give where? And so I would suggest, if there's anything that cause discomfort in the area of thoughts, that I wouldn't put my attention on. But instead I will focus my attention on those things that are love, those things biblically, whatever so is kind, whatever so is joy, whatever so is love, whatever so is peace. Think on these things. So the Almighty, the Bible has already kind of laid out the kind of things that we need to think on. I think a lot of times, and in the past, I'm no longer that person, but the person that I thought I was very anxious, always believing these thoughts about, things about what other people are saying and this and that. It could go on and on. The mind can take you down a rabbit hole if you listen to the mind. And so the things that helped me are really brought me back to home was just turning that off. Spend some time outside of it. And no, you can't stop your thoughts from arising. That's what I call them, arising and falling, and the wind blowing in and out. But you know what you can stop? You can stop the attention that you put on these arising and fallings. And so sometimes just take that time for yourself. Listen to your heart, and be okay with doing nothing. Sometimes you just need a little nothing. We spend a whole day piling up activities, doing this and doing that. Take time for yourself. And a lot of people are about, they're about one banana peel from having a nervous breakdown, from trying to do too much with themselves, with their lives, and not taking that time to just be quiet. It's just being quiet, just go to that place within yourself that is full of peace, full of love, full of joy. And that's what I just wanted to give to you today. It was just impressed on my heart about mental health. And the question came up, like I said, is what actually does that mean? What does mental health actually mean? And do we even observe our thoughts? Some people never observe their thoughts. They never even second guess it. They never even question, the belief in it. Some people just go with every thought that they have, and you can tell in their behavior that's what they're doing. And so, yeah, I would challenge you this week to take some time to observe your thoughts. Not only observe them, but after you observe them, just leave them there. Put attention to whatever is lovely, whatever is full of peace, whatever is love, and focus on your heart for a few minutes. You can maybe even do that. Maybe, just set aside a few moments out of each day to do that. Just focus on your heart, and that would be your me time. Even if you can't get away, you can't vacation, you can't go out and take a walk in the park, just do that for yourself, and just watch how sometimes life will unfold in a much more peaceful fashion, a much more loving environment, a much more calm space, because if you're not calm, then your world is not calm, basically. So, yeah, I just implore you to do that. Anyway, thank you all for watching. Remember to like, share, and subscribe. Remember that I do this for you. Remember that you are beautiful and I love you. Bye.